Hi everyone. Today I'm gonna teach you guys how to use the vowel and the consonant in French. Salut mes amis, j'espère que vous allez très bien. Dans cette leçon, nous allons donc voir ensemble comment utiliser les consonnes et les voyelles. Mbote na bandeko nyonso boza kolandanga lelo na kotangisa bino ndenge nini toutiliza ba consonne na ba voyelle na français naza mpona koyede bino, okay? So guys, this one in French, we call this consonant, and then I'm gonna combine the consonant plus voyelle. We're gonna see the result, okay? So this one, we call this the consonant, okay? So for example, this case, let's say we have the vowel E or A or A. For example, the vowel we have A here, it's gonna be like janvier. Janvier, for example. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like K. So here, if we put A, it's gonna be like La. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like Ma. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like Na. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like Pa. Here, if we put the A, it's gonna be like Ra, like radio. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like sa maison. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like A, ta maison. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like va. Okay. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like wa, Washington. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like ya. Here, if we put A, it's gonna be like Zaire. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys how we combine them. And what I'm trying to say here, for example, if we put, for example, let's say plus A, example, it's gonna be like ja. You know, like when you say jaguar, okay? So here the vowel, okay, voyelle. So here in French we say A, here we say A. In English, be careful. This one is A in English, this one is E, this one is I, this one is O, this one is U, this one is Y. But in French, be careful. This one in French we say A, this one we say A, this one we say E, this one we say O, this one we say U, this one we say E. So this one sometimes it sounds this one, sometimes it sounds like this one in some situation, okay? So we have to be careful here, okay? So this is what I was saying. B plus A, it gives us ba. So when we combine this together, banane. Or sometimes you're gonna hear banana. Okay, that's in different language. That's in English, but banan. Ka, you're gonna hear ka. Canoe. Okay, carrot. Okay, that when we combine this, we get ka. It sounds also like this. It sounds like this also, the same sound. Ka and ka. So when we combine this and this, sound as da. When we combine this and this, sound like pa. Pantan. Okay? Facture. Okay? So when we combine this and this, sound like B. However, be careful. Sometimes you're gonna see like this accent. We have accent grave, accent aigu. So in this case, be careful here, okay? So here, when you combine this and this, it's gonna sound like C, like this one. Okay? Sound like this one. Sometimes you're gonna see the other C like this. Okay? Like this. So you're gonna see like for if let's say we say français, française. So this one sound like C, okay? So we got here together the sound D. This one together sound fête. This one sound like D, like devoir, de, sound like that. So yeah. This one is sound B. Okay? This one. But be careful, not like bureau. No, B. So in this case, okay, if I go back, Here we combine E, A, okay? So here we combine E. B plus B, when we combine it together, B plus E, when we combine it, we got BB, BBish, okay? C, when we combine this with E, it gives us C, citron, okay? Or cigarette, okay? But you have to be careful here, okay? Be careful. When we combine this together, here, gonna be like D, dictée, dictionnaire, okay? When we combine this together, we got fee, okay? So here it's got fee, okay? So be careful, don't panic, okay? I'm here to help. So the main reason I decided to teach you guys like this because I want you to see, okay? I want you to see and I want you to hear and I want you to learn how to pronounce them. Some of them, sometimes you're gonna hear the name fiston, dictée, directeur, directrice, okay? So I want you guys to master. That way gonna be easy for you, okay? I'm here. So here we have B plus O. We got beau, but for example we say bonne, bonsoir, bon, bonne vie, bon. Okay, so you have to be careful when we add, for example, N, okay, and at the end we can say bonsoir, bonjour, bonne nuit. Sometimes you add like this in some situation in feminine. Bon, situation like this. Bonne fête. Okay, coco, coca, cola, coca, la. Okay? Here we have together when we combine this, okay? When we combine this, do, you know, like do, re, mi, fa, so, do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. Or we can say docteur, okay? Docteur, okay? Docteur, okay? Document, docteur, document, dossier, okay? So when we combine this together, we got faux, like you know, when you put like this, fou, and when you put like this, so be careful. The pronunciation change, fall. Okay, so be careful. Okay, so as long you know this, easy to add this one. For example, you know when you say ville, okay, ville. So when we read of this one you put here, okay, so you really know the sound. So sometimes we borrow some of the stuff we add together. So B. So in some situation here, when you read an African name, you have to be careful. Here you can say bureau. When you let's say you read the Congolese name, you have to be careful. Sometimes you're gonna hear like this, the name like this. This one we say bumbu. In some situation here, you're gonna hear bureau. Here, when we combine this together, become like calculatrice, calculateur, calculer. Okay? This one, when we put together, sound like du. Je veux du vin. Okay? So you don't say je veux du lot. No, je veux du vin. Okay? So here, when we add together, it's gonna be like You know when we pronounce the name like Fubu, Fubu, English name for the clothes, right? But be careful, okay? In some situation, the sound is different. It depends the language, okay? Okay, so here when we read, you have to be really careful, okay? We come here, here, we combine together. This one and this sometimes sound like B. So you have to be careful. But in English, when you put E, become buy. But this one is not English. This one is French. Okay? So when we add this, it sounds like C. But be careful. This sound sounds a little bit different. Here, when we add together, it sounds like D. But it depends how we use it. Here, when we add together, it sounds like F. So be careful when you use it. Really careful, okay? So in English here, you're gonna hear sound like buy, pass by. This one is not English, it's French. Okay, so it depends. Even in Lingala, it depends how we the sound. It depends. Okay, so we come here. See, for example, when we combine this together, sound like ja. Okay, Jakarta. Okay, here sound like ka. Okay, not carrot, no, ka. Here sound la. Here sound ma maison, ma soeur, ma tante, ma maman, okay, ma patronne, okay, ma directrice. Here sound, when we combine them together, sound na. Here sound ma. Here sound la. Here sound ka. Okay, so when we combine this sound na. When we combine this sound pa, papa, patron. Okay? Here when we combine them together sound radio. Okay? Here when we combine this together sound sa maison, sa voiture, sa mère, sa sœur, sa tante, son oncle. Nope, we don't say son oncle, no, son oncle. Okay? Here sound ta mère, ta sœur, ta tante. Okay? Here when we combine together, the sound valise. Okay? Here when we combine together, sound Washington. Here when we combine together, sound Yahoo. Okay? Or it depends the name. Okay? Here is sound when we combine together, sound za, like Zaire. Okay? We come here. Here when we combine together, okay? This one you have to be careful. Let's say je vais à l'école. Je vais à l'école chaque jour. Chaque jour, je vais à l'école. Here sound K. Okay? Here sound les. Et le bureau, le directeur, le patron. Okay? Here sound me, some pronoun. You're gonna hear in French we have also the pronoun me. Okay, but be careful not mes enfants. So for example, if you put like this, you write like this and you put s at the end, it sound me. Okay, mes enfants. Okay, here sound ne. So for example, let's say you wanna say je ne veux pas en français, for example. So here sound like negative ne. Here it sound p. So it depends if you put accent in some situation. If you put accent grave or accent aigu, it depends. You can write like père, mère, but it's not the same because it depends. If it's a père, you have to put some accent there. If it's a Pedro or petrol, it depends. Here, it's re. Okay? For example, réunion, it depends. René, okay? C'est, it depends. Sometimes it can be the pronoun. Okay? Here, terre, Thérèse, or it can be also the pronoun. It can also be like te. Okay? So it depends how we use it. It can be like Vanessa. Okay? So here, or you can say nous venons. Here's we. This one is like in English we, but the sound is different. We. Okay? The name of the person, like let's say Werason. Yeah. Like if you know Kanye West, we say yeah. Okay? So here, when we combine it like zebra, okay? So be careful how we use it. We come here. Here, the pronunciation is a little bit different compared to the other. So the pronunciation is different compared to the other. So here is different. Like let's say you wanna pronounce J, like jus d'orange is different. When you write jus d'orange, it's different. Okay. So here we say kilo, kilogram. Be careful here. Okay. Be careful here. When we combine together, it's lily. Okay. Here, when you combine together, it's me. Here, when you combine together, ni. Here, when you combine together, p. Here, when you combine together, ri. Here, when you combine together, si. Here, when you combine together, t. Here, when you combine together, the. Here, when you combine together, we. Not the we like in English. No, it's we. Here, when you combine together, ye. Here, when we combine together, like zing, like zing. Huh? Here, when we combine together, jo, ko. Like when you write like this, coco, right? Coco. Together, same thing like this. Ko, here together, lo. Here together, mo. Here together, no. Here together, po. So, for example, no. You see here when you put the N, it's going to be like non. Non in French, non. Here, po. Okay? Here, ro. Here, so. Like when you say so. But so. Solange. Here together, to. Sometimes you're going to hear people say tonton in French, okay? Tonton Guilain, okay? Here you're going to hear people say Volvo. So you have to be a little bit careful here. Like when we add U and the S sound vous. Without S, it sound vous. It's still vous, okay? Here, like you say wah. But here it doesn't sound like that. If we put it like this, in English, it's gonna sound wah, but it sounds like whoa. Here, yo. Here, zone. Like zone. Okay? Something like that. We come here. So here, the sound is different compared to the other one because here we're using here, let's say you wanna say let's see, Gili. When you put like this, Gili, okay? Gili. Here sound like let's say you wanna say in Lingala it sound cool, but in French it's not cool. No, when you read this in Lingala, it's gonna sound cool. In French, it doesn't sound cool. No. Okay? So here, it sounds like in Lingala, it sounds lou. But in English, nope. In French, no. It doesn't sound the same. So here it sound mu. In French, it doesn't sound like mu. No. In Lingala, it sound mu. But in French, it doesn't sound mu. Like, let's say you want to say mur. Mur. Okay? So when you add R, it's going to be like mur. Okay? Here it sounds nu. So here, lu. You see here? Lu. Luc. Q. Okay? So you have to be careful. Je lu. Here, be careful. Here, when you write Luc. Here, mur. Here, nu. Nul. Or you can add L and E. Okay? For the female. Here, you know when we say puma. Okay? Puma. 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 Okay? Be careful. It depends how we pronounce it. Or pur. 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 Rhume. Rhume. Here, su. Sud. Sur. Okay? Here, tu. Tu es bogard. Okay? Tu es belle. Tu es mignon. Here, sound vie. Je vis. Je vis. Okay? Vie. Okay? Be careful here. Here, the way we pronounce it, let's say you wanna, it depends. It's depending how we pronounce it. Okay? So in Lingala sound like woo. Oui. You know, like let's see. When you go in Congo, Kinshasa, you read the name of most, like some of the African name. It could be like, let's say, Woomba. Woo. This one sound woo. But in French, it sound like oui. But be careful. Be careful. This one, it sound like you or you. So be careful how you use it. In some African name, it doesn't sound like in French, no. Here it sound zoo. So here it sound like Zulu. Zulu. It depends. It depends how you use it. When you're in Africa or in French, it depends. Okay? You're gonna hear people say zoo, Zulu, zoo. So be careful how you use it. Because in African name, for example, in South Africa, you're gonna hear people say Zulu. There's a sound change. Zulu. The sound change. In that case, you're using like African name. Zulu or Z. So be careful. Be careful how you use it, okay? We come here, same thing. You see all this sound like E, Z, ki, li, mi, ni. Okay? So it sound like you know when you say let's say here it's like ki. Here sound like li. Here sound like me. Me. Here sound like ni. New York. New York. But be careful. P. Here sound like ri. Si. Ti. Di. We. So here this is sound the same. Here z like zing. But this one, it's depending how you use it. The sound, it sound like E, not English. I. No, it's a little bit different. It depends how you use it. Okay, when you combine this one, it depends. See this one and this, it sound like the same. Si, sirène. Okay? Here, like let's say you see this one, N and E, it sound like ni, nil. But be careful how you use it. Okay? Here, it sound together, it's gonna sound like pra. But we're gonna write together, okay? So together when we type it, okay, it sound pra. Pratique. Okay, pratique. This one, prêt. Okay, like préparer. Préparer. So you know when we put a p plus a, it's gonna give us pa, 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 pa. Préparer, préparer. So here when we put together here, it's gonna be like prie, prie. Like for example, prier, prise. Okay, put is pro. Okay, here prie, here sound like prie. Okay, but be careful. This one it sound like I. This one, it sound a little bit different. I, but it's depend how you use it or how when we link them together or when we use the liaison. It's depend. It depend how you use it. Here, so here when we put together, bra, bravo, 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 bravo. For example, bravo, 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 bravo. Okay, so see the difference? Bras and bras plus va equal bravo. Bravo. So we have to change this. Oh, bravo, bravo. Okay, bravo. So here we put this together. Pré, brevet. Okay. Here when we put together, brie. Okay. Okay. Here when we combine together, bro. Like a bro, like when we write brother, brother, brother in English. Okay. When you put like this, sound different. But be careful, this is not English. Okay. Here. This one. Careful. So this one also can sound like this. Can sound like that. Brie. But be careful. It depends how we use it. Okay. Be careful. It can sound like that. Because Y sometimes sound like E in some situation. Some situation sound like E. So we have to be careful here. So here when we add them together, sound like dragon. When we combine together, sound like Dre, like Dr. Dre. Okay. Here when we add it together, sound Dre. Okay. Here sound Dro, like drôle. Okay. Here when we sound put together, sound like the same, like it's depend. Okay. In some situation you hear like, don't get confused between drug, draw. Be careful. That's one if it's DRO, drôle, drogue. Okay. I'm not talking about this one. I'm not talking about this one, but this one on top. This one also is depend. Drug. Depend. So this one, when you use it, be careful. Okay? This one and this doesn't sound the same. Okay? And this one, okay? Okay? Sometimes you're gonna hear it's gonna sound like dri, like this. You're gonna sound like this, but it's not. The writing, they sound the same. Okay? We come here. This one, when we put together, sound like a fa, facture, facteur. Here, sound like frère, frère, Freddy. Okay? This one together, it sound like free, frigo. Okay? Sound like front, frontière, front, front. This one sound like flux. It sound like flux. Not the flux, because if we put L like this, it sound different. This one like flux, but in this case, this one flux, not flux, but flux. It's a flute is the sound of them, and this not the same. You know, when you say flute, this one is not the same like that one. This one is, like when you write Afrique, Afrique, Afrique sound, Afrique similar to this one. Because when you put like this, for example, let's say you write A, free, Afrique. See the difference? So this sound, this one, Afrique. Now, when we come here, if we write like this, Afrique, this sound the same like this one, but be careful. It's not correct. But the sound is like the same, but be careful, okay? We come here. This one, O, Canada, O Maroc, O Congo, okay? O Rwanda, aux États-Unis, aux Philippines, aux Pays-Bas, aux Seychelles, okay? But we don't use this in Japan, no. If you say au Japon, no. This one, au Japon. This one we use it for the male. I mean for the plural form. However, be careful. We also use it for the island. When you use for it's depend how we use them. If you use the country, the plural form, let's say United States. Okay, we say aux États-Unis. Je vais aux États-Unis. Je vais. Let's say Eric est allé ou Eric va aux États-Unis. Abby est allé aux États-Unis. Anne va aux Pays-Bas. Justin va aux Seychelles. Here, you can say, let's say, je vais de l'eau. Okay? So, that's how we use it. I'm going to stop here for today. So, in case you don't get it, it's okay. And then try to watch several times. It should be good. So I'm gonna try my best as I can to work on this one. It's the basics, to be honest with you. I took this in school way back in the day. Okay? So thank you so much. You guys take care. Bye bye.